What's up everybody, my name's Lucas, and welcome to Battlefield 5. It's been a while since I played this game, but I thought it'd be fun to jump into a game, maybe talk a little bit about the game. Um, Probably the most divisive Battlefield that's ever come out. Um, but yeah, me and my buddy were playing this earlier, so I figured I'd come back to it and do a little video on it. Man, Battlefield 5. A lot of wasted potential. I think that's the biggest takeaway. And just sheer incompetence at the top levels that were over this game. Just from the get-go, really. Like the way that the DICE developers just trashed on their fans, basically, for wanting a historically accurate game. Just put a sour taste in everyone's mouth that I don't think was ever quite shaken. Uh-oh. I'm about to die. Oh, come on, tree. Really? Oh my god. Thanks, tree, for being indestructible. That was really cool. Anyways, yeah, just like the first trailer was... You go from having one of the best trailers ever in Battlefield 1, that reveal trailer with Seven Nation Army playing, to arguably one of the worst video game trailers of all time, with that one with the woman with the biotic arm. Yeah. I'm a big history guy. I'm actually have a history degree. And I plan on hopefully teaching history come this fall in high school. And that trailer was just abysmal and almost in literally every single way. Bionic arms, which we barely have today. Just jumping out of windows and not breaking a sweat. War paint like it's freaking Braveheart or something. It's just really bad. And I do not blame the Battlefield fans for getting angry at it. Was it the worst, most disliked video on YouTube for a while? I think it might have been. Like took Infinite Warfare's spot, I think. Might obviously that was a couple years ago, so it might have changed, but I wouldn't be surprised if it still held that title. Yeah, but then DICE didn't make it any better. They could have just been like, okay, that was a bad trailer. They gotta come out and be like, oh, you're a sexist bigot if you have a problem with this sorry, with this trailer that's depicting women as being on the front lines and people wearing war paint and stuff. Again, like like I said, I'm a history guy. I know that women fought in the war, but in very limited roles. They were mainly partisans, and the Russians used them a lot as snipers. And there were some Russian pilots that were women. But in the grand scheme of things, it's about like a... Sorry. Like 0.001% of the people fighting in the war were women. And not to take anything away from those women that actually fought, because like they're just as brave as the men were, obviously. And they did contribute to the war in a big way, both in the roles that they played in the front lines and with their work in the factories. Allies couldn't have won the war without them. But to act like they were... The DICE developers were acting like they were just as much in the front lines as the men were. That's simply not the case. Like, it's not the case at all. I think that's the problem people had with it, was depicting them as like fighting with the rank and file In the trailer, it was British soldiers, like with the rank and file British soldiers, which the British were like very conservative with the military. Like they were definitely not gonna be any women fighting. So it was just bad PR, just really bad. Oh. Gotcha. The thing is too, like the gameplay, while not the best in the Battlefield series by any stretch, it's not. It's fun. It's genuinely fun, and it's a shame that it had to be ruined by the progressive politics. Like with the graphics, I think, well, a bit of letdown. I think they could look better. Like, they look pretty great, all things considered, and the fact that we didn't get a realistic World War II shooter with modern gen graphics is a big shame. Because Battlefield's one of the like there are shooter game like PC games obviously that do sim World War II, but most people don't have PCs, or if they do, they don't have PCs that can handle games like Hell Let Loose or Postscriptum or stuff like that. So this is a big chance for like a larger scale World War II shooter to hit the market, and EA was like, nah, we're gonna just throw historical accuracy out the window, which I don't get. Even like the modern games, like the reason people like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, I think, obviously they're good games, but they have a what should I say? They have a they're pretty realistic. Like they have the guns are made with like great detail. The tanks are everything. You can tell DICE did their research, and they did their research in this too. Like the vehicles in this game are very good models in game, but it just seems like there wasn't quite that love and care that went into like Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1 even. Battlefield 1, like the amount of detail they put into that game is insane compared to this game. This game just feels shallow in comparison to Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, and it's a shame. Because World War II is just, it's obviously it's the biggest conflict in human history, and like you could spend your entire life learning about the war and not know everything. That's how big it was, and it seems like DICE didn't care to put that loving detail into it like they did with past games. Crap. And I don't get their decision to. I mean, I kind of get the decision to cut the plug on the on this game. They basically came out and were like, yeah, no more DLC, no more maps or weapons or anything over the summer of 2020. So that kind of sucked because the game was getting better. They were adding a lot of cool stuff. The Pacific DLC was really cool. I think that was a much needed crap. That was a much needed addition, and I think it's a shame that they never added the Eastern Front to the game. I think that'd be really cool because Eastern Front, if you don't really know anything about World War II, it's where I think 90% of all Germans were killed in the war. Like obviously, Western movies and TV shows focus on the Western Front, the fighting in France in 1944 and 1945. But the lion's share of the fighting by far was being done in Russia and Poland, Ukraine, the Baltic states. I think it'd been cool to have a Eastern Front map, or DLC, whatever you want to call it, kind of like they did with the Americans and Japanese. But alas, I don't think we're not going to get that, since they're going to cut the support to this game. Been awesome to have a Stalingrad map on this game. Like Stalingrad. You have another map, kind of like Panzerstorm, if you're familiar with this game. Panzerstorm is one of the very vehicle-focused maps, where each team has like something like 6 or 7 tanks at least. You could have something like that on. You had the Battle of Kursk. What the heck? I just got sniped by a fighter. You have like the Battle of Kursk, which is arguably the biggest tank battle in human history. Definitely the most influential. Is basically where the Germans launched their. Oh, I didn't mean to get the Puma. Oh well. Is this a? Oh, I got an autocannon. Not what I wanted, but I'll make it work. It's where the Germans basically, it's their last major offensive on the Eastern Front. There's this big salient around the city of Kursk. Basically the Russians had pushed forward, and they were kind of surrounded on 3 sides by the German front. So the Germans were like, okay, we're going to launch 2 giant pincers from the north and south and cut off this pocket, capture hundreds of thousands of Soviets, and basically regain initiative on the Eastern Front. But the Germans had their Enigma code broken, so the Russians knew they were coming, and they basically fortified the hell out of the area and had just layer upon layer upon layer of defenses in the salient. And it thank you for the double kill. Yeah, basically the Germans attacked, and they ran into an absolute meat grinder that just got bogged down almost immediately and did not work out. This is actually pretty cool. I know it's not going to do jack against enemy armor, but it's kind of fun. These guys are not being very smart right now. Anyways, I say all that to say that the Battle of Kursk would have been really cool to have in this game. Hey, we full capped him, look at that. Oh, it's a friendly. Whoops. Yeah, but in the comments below, like, let me know if DICE ever does another World War II Battlefield game. Like, what would you want them to focus on? Would you want them to focus on the Eastern Front? Want them to focus on the Pacific? Like, what would be your wish list, I guess? I would love to hear that. I think a game just focused on the Pacific, or mainly focused on the Pacific, would be cool too. Battlefield 1942, obviously one of the most legendary and influential shooters of all time, was just the Pacific, and that worked out really well. I think there's a lot of cool things you could do with naval invasions and stuff, and landing craft, and stuff like that. Also, the fact that this game doesn't have a Normandy map. Like, imagine a World War II shooter that doesn't have a Normandy map. It's kind of crazy to think about, actually. Ooh. Let's get out of here, Scoob. Now, I've been crapping on the game. I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the good things I think that there are in this game. I think the gameplay is good. Like I said, not as good as, I'd argue not as good as some of the other Battlefields, but it's not anything to scoff at, I guess. I think the vehicles are cool. Vehicle combat is a little floaty at times, which I think they did that for the sake of fun over realism, which is okay, I guess. I actually really like the squad system. If you look in the bottom left, this guy right next to me. There we go. Good mark. Squad system, how you have points and you can use those points to buy stuff. I think that is really cool. Like our teammate could, if he wanted to, he could buy artillery strike. He could get a smoke barrage. He could get a bunch of different stuff, which he was probably saving up for the V2, which is like the big thing you can get, where you call in a literal V2 rocket. And it makes an enormous explosion. Kills anything within like 100 yards. Surprise! This thing isn't actually too bad. I know it wasn't my choice, but or I didn't want it at least. Especially on this map, I didn't figure it'd be good on this map at all. But it's not working out too bad for me. I would stay, but I need to go get some repairs. Also, please tell me in the comments if you thought this game, like how you think it's gonna be remembered. Like, do you think it's gonna be remembered as a okay game that never really got a chance? Do you think it's gonna be that game that drove away a lot of the Battlefield community? I'd love to know your thoughts on the matter. Yeah, see, that's a V2. About to blow up. And killed nobody. It's kind of a big letdown when you spend, I think those are like almost 50,000 squad points. You call those in, you have the big excitement about it to explode, and then it just doesn't kill anybody. Whee! Yeah, I've heard the new Battlefield's going to be entirely next gen, which I think is probably a good idea. Kind of sucks because I don't know if I'm going to get the new Xbox. I'm not that impressed with either of the systems so far, the PS5 or the Xbox, whatever, Series X, or whatever you want to call it. I think, well, actually, I might get it because of Halo Infinite. Ooh. I'm a huge Halo fan. If you've looked at my channel for 2 seconds, you would know that. And I would like to get the new Xbox to be able to support 343. Because I think if this Halo doesn't turn out good, I think the series might be dead. I don't want that. Shit. Suck up a little bit. Alright, we're by ourselves here. Please don't go in the river. Please don't go in the river. Uh-oh. Don't shoot me in the ass. Okay, I think they just have grenade pistols. Who the hell is trying to get this? I gotta move. Uh-oh. Is it a Greyhound? No, it's just a Jeep. Alright. Time to restock. I wonder what the feeling in the gaming community is about Battlefield is in general. Like I've talked about, like this game really ticked off a lot of people. It's kind of be interesting to see if they actually this is risky. If they actually turn out and want to buy a new game, buy a new Battlefield. I'm not entirely convinced that they will want to. And since I've been talking about this, I was really disappointed in, I don't know if any of y'all have ever watched Angry Joe. I used to watch Angry Joe all the time when I was like growing up. He was honestly my favorite YouTuber for a long time. I watched him since like 2010. Back when he used to, I remember one of my favorite videos by him, one of the first ones I ever saw was the like 30 something reasons why Fable 3 sucks. Uh-oh. No. And I watched this stuff for years and years and years. Loved his angry reviews, all that. And it sucked seeing him kind of play into the media narrative that if you disliked Battlefield 5, you're a huge sexist and bigot. I mean, I've kind of come to realize that he's always kind of been like that. I was just maybe too young and naive to really notice it. But it just kind of sucks when one of the people that you grew up watching turns out to be a well, Don't mean to be too harsh about it, but scumbag. He got a lot of kickback from that. I think he lost a lot of subscribers when he made those videos. My problem with it is people are just ignorant. Like, it's possible to dislike, like, I disliked it because it's historically inaccurate, and I'm a history guy. So I like things to be historically accurate. If you're going to make a World War II game, I think you should try to be... I'm sorry about my flying, by the way. It's been a while. Oh, he's dead. I'm used to playing Star Wars Squadrons where my controls aren't inverted. Wow, this is really tricky. Anyways, I just didn't like it because it was historically inaccurate. I didn't care that it was a woman. Like, the woman was the reason that it was that way. But people like Angry Joe, they want to find a motive behind it, like a bad motive. They want to find the worst intentions that you could possibly have when you're making your opinion known. In that case, it was, oh, you don't like it? That means you're, must mean you hate women. It's like, no. I love women. I have a beautiful girlfriend, lovely mom, lovely sister. I just didn't like that they were depicting women as being on the front lines when that's not how they were in real life. Yeah, I need to get out of this. I have no idea what I'm doing. Whee! Ooh, I fell a lot faster than I thought I would. Okay, where do we need? We need to go to D, try to hold the line. Hold the line, Hans. Ooh. Seen a lot of greyhounds today. There might be a challenge to do with greyhounds. One down. I'm not doing a very good job of controlling my recoil. Oh, hello. Oh, come on. Let's not win this at the end. Or lose this at the end. Let's not snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. That's a quote one of my history professors always used, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. He always talked about the 7 Years' War, where basically Russia, Austria, and France fought Great Britain and Prussia. And Prussia was like basically the battlefield for the entire war, and they were getting messed up. Like, the Prussian state was very close to just not existing anymore, because they were being besieged by the Austrians, French, and Russians on all sides. But they kind of caught a break. The Russian Tsar was died, and his successor was very pro. Like, he's a Germanophile, which basically he's a big fan of German stuff. He's actually a huge fan of the German Kaiser. So he immediately got Russia out of the war. It's like, I don't want to fight these guys. So he gets them out of the war, which takes a lot of pressure off of Prussia, and they're able to stave off some more attacks by the Austrians and French, and eventually get a pretty favorable peace treaty, considering what they were about to be dissected, basically. And my professor always say, the Russians snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. I could play on the classic saying. on, fellas, let's take this. Oops. Where are these guys at? Oh, we're about to freaking lose. That sucks hard. Lost by 10 points. That's awful. 25 and 13. I'll take that. Alright, I don't really know what I'm gonna call this video. I guess kind of like a retrospective of the Battlefield 5. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I was rambling a lot, talking about a bunch of different. Ooh, I had the best KD ratio. Nice. Or my squad did, I guess. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, I really, really appreciate you watching. Please, like I said, let me know your thoughts on this game in the comments, your thoughts about the future of Battlefield 5. Maybe you don't think that historical accuracy even matters in video games. I've heard that argument before. I would disagree, but I appreciate it. I think it's kind of showing respect to the source material. Like, some upwards of like 60 to 70 million people died in this war. I think it's important that we remember it properly and correctly. But anyways, like I said, thank you for watching. Please feel free to check out some of my other videos. Probably not going to be uploading as many as I'd like to. I have my internship coming up for teaching, so I'm going to be swamped with that for the next 3 or 4 months. But I'll try to do at least 1 or 2 videos a week. Probably a few Let's Play, maybe 2 Let's Play videos a week, and then I'll try to have a multiplayer or a one-off on the weekend on Sunday. But yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.